Hello everyone and happy Christmas Eve. We're in Eve's bed because Grace sleeps in Eve's bed on Christmas Eve, don't you? You're being all shy. Now we're going to read. What are we going to read?
How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Okay, here's the book, or the book. Let's get started, shall we? How the Grinch Stole Christmas. We're going to take a turn of each. How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
By Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss. Go on.
For Teddy Owens.
Who's Teddy Owens? Everyone who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot.
But the Grinch who lived just north of Whoville Valley did not. The Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just straight. Could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes small.
But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here. Then he growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming. I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming, for tomorrow he knew.
All the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys and then, oh the noise, 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 noise. That's one thing I hated, the noise.
It's like our house.
It's not like Jack's house.
Then the Who's young and old would sit down to a feast, and they'd feast and they'd feast and they'd feast. They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least.
And then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Who Valley, the tall and small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand and Who's would start singing. They'd sing and they'd sing and they'd sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more why for 53 years I put up with it now. I must stop Christmas from coming, but how?
Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea.
I know just what to do. The Grinch laughed in his throat. And he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat, and he chuckled and cluckled. What a great Grinchy trick. With the coat and his hat, I look just like Saint Nick.
Do you want me to do this one? All I need is a reindeer. The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there are none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said, "If I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead." So he called his dog Max, then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn on the top of his head.
Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max.
Then the Grinch said, "Giddy up," and the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Who's lay and snoozed in their town.
All the windows were dark, quiet, snow filled the air. All the Who's were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square, this is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist.
Empty. No, this is a long one. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch, but if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once for a moment or two, then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who's stockings all hung in a row. "These stockings," he grinned, "are the first things to go."
Then he slithered and slunk with a smile almost unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn and plums, and he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch very nimbly scuffled all the bags one by one up the chimney.
Then he slunk to the icebox, he took the Who's feast, he took the Who pudding, he took the roast beast, he cleaned out that icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took their last can of woo hash. I hope it was diet woo hash.
Then he shuffled all the food up the chimney with glee, and now grinned the Grinch, I will stuff up the tree. And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove when he heard a small sound like a coo of a dove. He turned around fast and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou, who was not more than 2.
Oh. Oh, it's me. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter who'd got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, "Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?" Go on then.
But you know that the old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought up a lie and he thought it up quick. "Why, my sweet little tot, the fake Santa Claus lied. There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there and I'll bring it back here."
And his fib fooled the child, and he patted her head, and he got her hair drink, and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou went to the bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up.
And the last thing he took was a log for the fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire, and the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse.
Poor mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who mouses.
It was dawn. All Who's still abed. All the Who's still a snooze. When he packed up his sleigh, packed it with their presents, the ribbons, the wrapping, the tag and the tinsels, the trimmings and the trappings.
3,000 feet up the side of Mr. Crumpet, he rode with his load in a tip-top to dump it. Pooh, pooh, to the Who's was his Grinchly humming. We're finding out now there's no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry, boo-hoo.
That's a noise, grinned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. So he paused on the Grinch put his hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow.
But the sound wasn't sad. Why, the sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so. But it was merry, very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. Then he saw. What he saw was a shocking surprise. A tired puppy.
Every Who down in the Who Valley, in tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came somehow or another. It just came the same.
And the Grinch with his Grinch feet, ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons, it came without rags, it came without packages, boxes and bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till the puzzle was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more.
He didn't say that correctly. Because maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more.
Dramatic pause.
And what happened then? Well, in Who Valley, they say the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And a minute his heart didn't feel so tight. He whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. And he brought back the toys and the food for his feast, and then
He himself, the Grinch, carved a roast beast. Merry Christmas, everyone.
and a Happy New Year.
God bless us, one and all.
Hope Santa comes.
I do too.